Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Ode gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Ode, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast. Episode 104.
I thought it was 105.
No, we're 104. Last week was 103.
Oh, okay.
You're because the dad episode was a bonus.
Got it.
Okay. Got it?
I got it.
Okay, cool. Yes, welcome to episode... Oh, look at that. It was a thumbs up.
How'd you get a thumbs up?
I don't know. Okay, I guess we can't do another thumbs up. Anyhow, this episode is episode 104. I, of course, am Mo, a.k.a. Kid Licorish.
And I'm Ode.
And together we are the aforementioned Snerds from the Black and Snerdy podcast, coming to you live, large, and in charge. We, the Snerds, come to you every single week to talk about shit. Whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
And this week, we decided to do an episode on nostalgia.
We're changing the format, guys. This is not your normal episode of the Guess what? It's the 90s, baby.
It's the 90s. We were wearing, not gauchos.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we're wearing Jenko jeans.
Jenko jeans.
Mm-hmm. You can't see them just because, you know.
The camera's not showing them.
And also because this is a standing desk. In fact, I'm going to raise this up just a little bit to make sure that you can't see our jeans.
You also had FUBU and
For Us, By Us.
And Nietzsche or
Do you
NYC, whatever it's called.
I
always called it Nietzsche.
I always called it a Nietzsche, but
I found out a few years ago.
Someone told me it was NYC.
Yeah. And I'm like, really? Because that was something that I had never thought about before.
Message us right now and let us know. Is it a Nietzsche or is it NYC?
We need to know.
Like, let us know. And let us know what you think it is.
What did you call it?
What did you call it? I forget the movie, but there was a movie. It was a black movie. It was a historical black movie in which the line was, what is Boo-Foo? It's by us, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Do you know what movie that was?
Let me look that up.
Okay, while you're looking that up, as Odie said, we are doing a trip down memory lane to the 90s. We, of course, grew up in the 90s. We're 90s babies. Would we be considered 90s babies because that's when we were raised, right?
I think so, because we grew up in the 90s. We can't
call ourselves 80s babies because we were born at the end of the 80s.
So, in my opinion, I do feel like we're still 80s babies because there was still an overlap between like 89 and like 93, 94. There was still a lot of 80s things.
But I remember.
But our main time of life,
I could tell you more
90s.
things about the 1990s than I could about the 80s or the late 80s.
Yeah.
Because I lived through it. You know what I mean?
We lived through it. We had all of the regular, degular things.
Why are you looking up Boo-Fooby?
I was looking up. It's from How High.
It is from How High. Okay. Well, that wasn't in the 90s, so we're not going to talk about it.
But shout out to Intellectual Media. That is they do retrospectives on race, history, sexuality, black women, etc., etc. And this page, or the Twitter page, is owned by @lectual_. And I saw this thing the other day that they posted about 50 facts people forgot about the 90s, and I was like, you know what? This would be a great episode, one, because we grew up in the 90s, but because we were young, like, one thing that we could say we know about from the 90s is like the OJ police chase, right?
Yes, the Rodney King beating.
The Rodney King beating, but we were so small.
Furbies.
That once they
was Furbies 90s or the?
I would say 90s, late 90s, early aughts.
Okay, because I
remember kids going crazy about the Furbies.
Yeah, I went. You know what? I gotta admit this. I went crazy for Furbies to the point where I asked my mom to buy me a Furby for Christmas. Mm-hmm. She bought it for me, and I, for the life of me, could not understand what the fuck this little nigga was saying at all.
Were they even saying anything? They just were like
you could apparently you could program it to teach it English, or you could learn its language. It gave you a book, but I wasn't looking at manuals back then. Why would I look at a manual for an electronic little gremlin looking thing?
The only manual I was looking at was for my Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
and my Gigapet.
Were you Tamagotchi or Gigapet person?
I was both. I had both of them.
Well, Lottie, you know what? I don't ever want to hear you talk about the struggle.
Why not? My mother struggled to make sure I had toys.
You had Tamagotchis and
it was at
Gigapets.
one. It wasn't at the same time.
I had to make a choice.
I had to make a choice, but I remember we got we got the Tamagotchi, and one time we got the Gigapet. Mm-hmm. My mom struggled to make sure we could get things. You know, I never had my book cover, but I had.
Wait, you never had your what do you mean
book covers?
Yeah.
In my school, I remember they used to make us get book covers.
Yes.
And they usually were like, you covered your book with whatever like paper they had, but like sometimes you just might have. Did
you cover your book in newspaper?
Eventually, I did sometimes.
My mom let me cover my book in comic book strips.
Like sometimes it was
or
like
comic strips.
You had to, find your resources and do it, because she wasn't buying the ones you bought at the school marketplace or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't buying like the rainbow ones. It's the 90s, baby. That's gonna be the title of this episode, and that's this segment right here.
Well, that's a good title.
Yeah.
The number one on these 50 facts that people forgot in the 90s was something that I had not known about.
Are you gonna do number one?
I'm going to do number one because it's number one on the list, and it's the number one thing that it's the one that I remember the most on this thread.
On this list, you don't remember the Dorito one?
I do, but this is the first one on the list, so I got to do it. Warning.
But okay.
I'm warning people. Are you pulling up the drop for the warning?
Give me 1 second, because I didn't think we were gonna do this.
Why? I told you I wanted to do it from when you looked at the list and you were like, "Oh God, can't we do some fun ones?" And there are some fun ones on here, but some of them aren't so fun. Some of them are funk facts, not fun facts.
I wouldn't even label this as funk facts.
It's a funky fact. It's a bad fact.
This isn't the funky. Funky is
no, it's funky. It stinks.
Positive.
No, it's not. Not always. Funky is double. You could be like, oh yeah, he has that funky groove, but play that funky music, white boy.
Yeah,
but also,
play that funky music, white boy.
Your feet are funky, or your farts are funky, your breath is funky. It doesn't always have a good meaning.
Yeah, but I think that this one just. Well, I mean, hey, you know what?
It's a funky fact.
You know what?
Not a good funky.
If this is what you want to do, I am here for the ride.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
If you know, you know.
That is not
Sorry.
That was not it at all.
It wasn't
but still kind of in connection with.
Absolutely not. Here we go.
Warning.
Okay, warning. So, this is definitely a very funky fact. Warning. You
gotta give it another name other than funky. Because funky has fun in it, and this is not a fun fact.
Okay.
This is a dark fact. Hey.
Fine, it's a dark fact.
Warning, everybody! You're about to listen to a dark fact. This is how, mind you, this is how we're starting this whole thing off. Like, we started off energy. We're talking about the 90s. This is the first thing that Odie wanted to talk about.
It's the first one on the list.
This is how we're cracking off this 90s
it's the first
little-known fact discussion.
One on
and Odie was
list.
like, this has to be, yeah. And you went through the whole list and you was like, yep, you know
one.
what? Gonna go with it.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. Hit us with that dark fact.
Don't make me
go
laugh.
For it.
Don't make me laugh before I have to start getting it.
No, I'm here to support. I'm here to engage. I'm here for the content. I'm here to help you do this dark fact justice. So go ahead. It's the 90s, baby. 90s facts, little known facts about the 90s that you may have not known, that she didn't know, that I didn't know. This is what we're talking about.
Pointing so
we're
aggressively.
breaking it off with this very first fact. Hit us with that fact, Odie.
According to this Twitter thread, Mike Tyson was accused of R-wording Bill Cosby's daughter, Erin. And her name is Desiree. Yeah, no, wait, sorry. Why does she have two different names? Bill Cosby's daughter, Erin, accused Mike Tyson of R-wording her, and Cosby covered it up. This came out when Tyson was convicted of R-wording an 18-year-old named Desiree Washington. Got it. All right.
It makes
we've watched
sense that Cosby would cover this bullshit up,
and we've
considering
watched
everything that we know about him today.
We watched the Mike Tyson documentary.
Yes, we did.
He's talked about the various shenanigans he was a part of. So it also makes sense that he would have been being accused of this because, what's her name? That also accused him. The black actress.
Robin Givens.
Robin Givens, yes. You know, she accused him of both physical abuse and other, type of sexual abuse. So not surprising that this would happen. And honestly, abusers like Bill Cosby would, of course, try to cover it up because if you don't, your skeletons might start coming out of the closet. So this was the first one on the list, and I was honestly shocked by it. Because this was not something that
shocking.
Personally remembered. I remembered when we were younger, there were lots of talk of Mike Tyson being an abuser.
Yes.
And the only talk that, of course, at that time I remember hearing about Cosby, that he was just cheating on his wife.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. Like, the whole Tyson being an abuser thing didn't, it came out because he went to jail for it, but it wasn't, the main, talking
I would say that
in the 90s, if we're being honest. It wasn't until much later on.
I remember my mom and aunts or whatever talking about Tyson and things that he did. They would talk about the Robin Givens situation, and they never painted him as someone who was this he's just our athlete who, is troubled. They talked about these different occasions, but to think that someone like Bill Cosby, who has power and influence, would allow him to allegedly abuse his daughter and not do anything about it, it just adds to his ain't shitness.
Well, hurt people, and abusers look after their own.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, it's just like when you walk into a bar and you can tell another alcoholic, like an alcoholic can tell another alcoholic, which is great because the two that are in my life have yet to say anything to me about anything when it comes to drinking, which makes me feel confident that I'm not problematic in that regard. So, yay, I'm doing well.
Do you have what's one that you saw on this list that you wanted?
Oh no! Do you want to? I thought you wanted to talk more about this for 5 more minutes.
No, we talked about it. That we're going through this list. There's 50 of them. We may not get to every one of them, but I wanted to talk about the ones
that you wanted to break off this list.
We had to open it up.
We had to open it up. Yeah.
We can't be shy about this. Shit happened. So much shit happened in the 90s. And
so much shit did happen in the 90s.
And we have to
talk about it. The thing that I wanted to talk about was in 1990, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air not only launched Will Smith's acting career, but saved him from being broke as a result of overspending at the beginning of his rap career.
Now, that's something that was also a surprise to me.
It was surprising because, if I recall Will Smith in the 90s via rap, he wasn't a flashy rapper. You know what I mean?
He wasn't, but imagine he was a young guy getting money from rap, even though he wasn't a flashy rapper like some of the other ones. imagine what he was doing in the back end, because he was always seen as like,
he was fashionable. I'll give him that.
A fashionable, like, good guy. He's not really getting into a lot of trouble. But if you think about a young person with money,
look how far we've come.
A young person with money is probably going to be spending on things, even if you're not seeing them spend it. He may not have had big gold chains or, driving certain cars, but going out to restaurants. I mean, think about us right now.
We're spending entirely too much money.
We spend money on Uber Eats.
Yes, Uber
on
Eats.
On regular Ubers.
On Ubers.
On, like, the day-to-day things where we're just
we spend $10 Ubers on 15-minute walks.
Because we're childless folks that work, and we have, our income and our expenditures are different, and so a lot of people might be like, damn, that's you're spending a lot on that. But I mean, this is the part where it's like, you think of folks in 1990, he was about to go broke, and now look at where
he was gonna pull an MC Hammer. Imagine if MC Hammer had a successful television show. He did. Do you remember that he had a cartoon show?
I do remember the MC Hammer cartoon.
It
wasn't on for that long.
Oh my goodness. Now I have to find the MC Hammer theme song. Yeah. MC Hammer theme.
But you know what it makes me think of is, like, if a lot of black folks in media that came out in the 90s, if they came out today, there would be a completely different trajectory.
Well, yeah, they would be influencers, and they would probably have a better grasp of finances.
And having, even if they didn't have a better grasp of finances, they would have more ability to have a larger market.
Okay, I'm sorry to the video listeners. You're not going to be able to see this. But you're going to be able to hear us.
I mean, look at the graphics were fun. And it was a good little theme
Except
song.
he's against a green screen.
But this was on point for the 90s TV. Because this reminds me of, what's the one with the comedian, the white comedian, and he was like...
Life with Louie.
Life with Louie.
Yes. And Bobby's World.
Bobby's World, that's what I was going to say. Bobby's World got one of the big heads.
The 90s had a lot of comedians having their own cartoon shows.
Because who was Bobby's World?
And Gary Coleman had his own show.
He did?
Do you remember? Well, it wasn't in the 90s, but it was like...
80s?
It might have been in the 80s, but like apparently he was an angel.
Let me look this up.
Gary Coleman cartoon show.
Because that is not something that I remember at all.
Yeah, he was an angel. Gary Coleman was an angel.
The Gary Coleman Show animation, it came out in 1982.
Yeah, read the thing.
This animated series featuring the character that Gary Coleman played in the made-for-television movie The Kid with the Broken Halo, Andy LeBeau, an angel who goes to Earth, hangs out with some other children, and helps with their problems. Occasionally, he runs into Hornswaggle, a man who is opposite of a guardian angel, and takes delight in causing problems for others, especially him. Well,
yes, Odie, you're missing out on the origin story of Hammerman.
He was given magical shoes from a hip-hop Motown dude. Together
hip-hop
they had power.
Motown dude.
What was right.
And the rap was terrible. Like,
it was terrible, but...
No, listen to this lyric.
They had power. They stood up for what was right. But Gramps was getting old, and he couldn't keep up the fight. Right. So Gramps and his granddaughter, they went out on the road to find a man they knew could jam who was worthy of the load.
I mean...
That should be the title of this episode. Worthy of the load.
Worthy of the load.
Actually, I'm writing that down.
All right.
It might still be 90s, baby. But
moving forward, the first...
Worthy of the load.
In the 90s, the first ever Got Milk campaign commercial came out. It was shot
I'm worthy of the load. I'm sorry, continue.
It was shot by Michael Bay. And like in the thread, they have some of the original videos. And I remember being a kid and watching this commercial and thinking it was so funny, but also thinking it was stupid that this guy was squishing a piece of bread with peanut butter on it in his mouth. And then when he couldn't talk, why he didn't just put his hand in his mouth and take the bread out? if it was so sticky, because that would have been immediately what I did.
Like, it's insane to me that they tricked us into drinking milk.
I like milk.
Chocolate milk and strawberry milk are great.
Yes. But
just regular white milk.
I like milk when I'm having a peanut.
I
Yeah.
gotta
I forgot.
not
No
to
more
hit the
hitting
table.
the thing.
Yeah.
I like peanut butter and jellies with the milk. Cookies with milk. A brownie.
I
with
like
milk.
apples and bananas.
You
Apples
like-
and bananas. Oopals and banunus. Opals
But
and bananas.
I feel
I'm
like
sorry.
The
What am I
funny
doing?
thing is that all of the propaganda around milk and so much of it was not even real.
No, there was just to help the cow industry.
Yeah, the dairy industry, the meat industry,
Big cow.
all
Boo.
big cow wants you to drink milk and wants you to eat
Big
beef.
cow.
Because remember, beef, it's what's for dinner.
Yes.
Like, that commercial was on all the time. It always made you want a steak. It always made you want a burger. Because there was so much propaganda around the food we were eating and what we were doing. Because why not? Even on this list, now, let me see if I can find the number. But they're talking about...
Oh, my God, no. We have to talk about the one right before this one.
Before... We will talk about this one.
I talk about that
We will talk about this one. But this one...
I just don't want to skip it.
In 94, when Texas Governor Ann Richards and New York Governor Mario Cuomo, the father of what's his name? What are the two Cuomo brothers? The one that got
Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo.
Say that super fast.
Chris Cuomo, who was governor during the pandemic. And then his brother, what was his name? That got kicked off of the.
Didn't they both get kicked off for sex stuff?
Yeah, both
for
of them,
being sex
both
stuff
of them
kind?
had some sort of sexual harassment. What's Mario? What's his name?
Is it Mario Cuomo? No,
Chris
it's not Mario Cuomo.
Cuomo.
The Cuomo brothers.
Yes, the Cuomo brothers will be faster.
Chris Cuomo and the Cuomo brothers. Chris Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo.
That's what they call him?
Andrew Cuomo, 66, and Chris Cuomo.
Oh, yeah, because the Cuomo
53.
children are Margaret, Andrew, Maria, Madeline, and Christopher. All right.
I'm never naming anybody Madeline. No offense, but that is.
I did love that.
It is the most disgusting name.
You didn't love Madeline
Madeline.
on Disney Channel?
You mean that little French bitch?
Maurice.
Yes. She was her and her little friends walking around in their yellow little goddamn fucking outfits, running away from the nuns who are just trying to keep them all together, clumped up in the school. You're talking about that, Madeline?
Yes,
and that's Madeline, not Madeline.
Well, fine.
Madeline is
Sorry.
gross. Madeline is different.
Cuomo and Richards did their iconic commercial after they lost, where they were talking about the new Doritos bag, and I was watching it damn.
It's not the new Doritos bag, it's the new Doritos shape.
It was the Doritos bag, but I think they also had a new shape too.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was rounder edges and
round.
more seasoning, but I feel like this might have been a new bag that they debuted as well.
I always... That's a good question. I don't know if it was the new bag. It doesn't say bag.
It doesn't say bag.
It just says
it
new
does say
Dorito
the
featuring
rounder edges and more seasoning.
Why? It's not fun to eat Doritos if the edges are rounded. I want to stab.
You want to stab yourself?
Yeah, that's why I like Crafton Crunch right now.
Okay,
because I love a cereal that destroys the roof of my mouth.
You know what Doritos were my favorite? The 3D Doritos, because those were really cutting up your mouth. Those were cutting the fuck up your mouth.
You know what I hate? You know why I hated those? It tasted like gas.
You
it tasted like solid gas.
You want to know why I liked them?
That's what those 3D Doritos tasted
They reminded me of Bugles, and I like Bugles.
Of course you do. Because you're a witch. You like to put them on your finger and go zap, zap, zap. That's what you probably did with Bugles, right?
I did. I would put them on my fingers, and
of course,
there'd be nails. It was a lot. They could be nails, and they were good. They were nice and cheese Bugles. Oh my god. And Bugles are such an old snack, but I fucking love them. Bugles and
you know what else is a really old
Mary
snack, but I
Jane.
really enjoyed? Dunkaroos.
Oh my fuck! I love
This is
Dunkaroos.
now turning into just, hey, we grew up in the 90s, and these are the things that we loved in the 90s.
I fucking love. Give me Dunkaroos right now.
What was your favorite flavor?
I was just about to ask you which frosting you want.
I like the white frosting. The chocolate, it was too sweet. It was too rich for my mouth. The chocolate.
Okay, that's not surprising, but I love chocolate. So but I really do like the chocolate chip little Dunkaroo cookies, and then you dipping them in the white frosting that had the little sprinkles in it.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
was really good. But I did, when I was feeling in a mood of having something really sweet and decadent, the chocolate frosting.
Yes.
But I do really I want some Dunkaroos right now. Like if I want to,
I would get down on some Dunkaroos right now.
When I'm in
sure.
a bodega, if I see Dunkaroos, I'm getting them.
How do they? They don't
they
still
have
make them. They don't
They
still
do.
make them.
They
do.
They do.
No, they don't. But that's not. It's not the same flavor.
It's not the.
It's just like those. I don't know who makes them. It might be Stouffer's, but they had these like graham cracker cookies that were animal shaped and they had pink frosting. Do you know what I'm talking?
Yes.
And they came in the pink bag.
Yes.
Those were my favorite fucking.
Those
cookies.
were really good.
And I think they were Stouffer's.
They might. Those were the Stouffer ones.
Cookies.
I always liked the Barnum and Bailey cookies, the animal crackers,
the ones that came in the box,
because they were
the
like
circus
they were
box.
like buttery. They were like kind of like a buttery shortbread.
No, it reminded me too much of the animals.
I used to like to bite the heads off.
Yeah, we all used to bite the heads off. Like,
Bite the heads off.
and then I would tear the heads off and I would put them on different animals.
Yes. Me too.
And I would play with them.
Yes. Make like an elephant monkey or something.
Yeah. Like, look at us making Dr. Moreau ass cookies.
Oh, I love. You know what? I want to watch that movie again because I haven't seen that in a long time, and I really like it.
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
The Island of Dr.
You
Moreau.
like The Island
like
of Dr. Moreau?
And speaking of 90s, let me see if this is the name of the movie.
This is probably the most fun I've had on a podcast in the last few weeks.
Oh, well, I'm happy.
I'm
about
not
that.
saying that the other ones weren't fun, but as far as energy levels are concerned, this is actually topping it for me because it's all 90s shit, and I love it.
I think this might be the name of the movie. Freaked. Yes, this movie that Freaked that came out in 1993. It had Brooke Shields, William Sadler, and
Mr.
Edward. It is Mr. T.
He was the bearded lady?
He was the bearded lady. Yes, he was.
Mr. T. You know, look how progressive he was.
He was.
A peep who isn't into gender fluidity.
I really like this movie, and it's one of those movies.
Do you think that the AI will catch that I just did that and title it Mr. T impression?
It would be hilarious.
Who's not into gender fluidity?
It would be hilarious if it would. I hope so.
I hope so too.
We gotta find to see if this movie is streaming somewhere so we could watch it.
Well, you're on IMDb. It would show it on the side.
On the side here. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
no,
on Amazon.
No, you could buy it on Amazon. I'm not buying shit.
You know why I haven't been watching shit on Amazon Prime now?
Why?
Because I'm not watching fucking commercials on what used to be a commercial-less platform.
Yeah, it's
Hulu. I've always known. Okay, sometimes I'm gonna have the commercials. I paid my $9.99.
I always thought that was bullshit. That you paid extra for Hulu's ad free, and then because
some of them don't have the ad free.
Fucking what's the
ABC?
ER doctor bullshit?
Grey's Anatomy? Yeah.
Because it's Grey's Anatomy is we actually play our ads in the front and then at the end.
Yeah.
But then you have to wade through a bunch of fucking ads just to see who Dr. McDreamy is fingering today.
Shout out to ER, the original. Well, do you think it's ER the original TV? No, not the. That's not
Maybe General Hospital.
Not General Hospital. The one that Denzel Washington was in.
It was St. Elsewhere.
St. Elsewhere. Yeah.
No, not
St. Elmo's Fire. That was with Debbie Moore.
That was something different.
But I liked the St. Elmo's Fire. But it was the 80s, not the 90s.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Okay, so now moving on.
Yeah, let's
to the
go.
one you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about this because okay. A little bit of backstory. In the 90s, what the hell? Oh, sorry. I thought that was the dog. In the 90s, Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg dated each other. In fact, they were in the same movie together. Do you remember
like that
Ted
movie.
Danson?
What's it called? America or something like that? Let me look it up.
Made in America.
Made in America.
I think it's Made in America.
Because it's on Hulu, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this. I haven't watched that in a while. Neil Long's also in it, and Will Smith.
Yes, Will Smith is also in it. But during the height of EGOT winning Whoopi Goldberg's career, her then boyfriend Ted Danson performed a racist comedy set in blackface in 1993. Goldberg helped him write the jokes. Now, let me just say this. Blackface is horrible.
Yes.
And I don't mean that just from a historic standpoint. I mean blackface is horrible just from the actual what goes into blackface. Stop knocking the table.
Move over
please.
so that I can get in.
We have so much. I did this so that we have so much room. Like there's no need to ever knock the table and you spill the dog's butter. Okay.
Well, mark this down so you can cut this out.
I won't. I told you the editor doesn't like to do shit. So this happened during them dating each other.
Yes.
Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. Somehow,
If
gotta-
you moved
you
up,
gotta
move
stop.
over.
You gotta
move
stop.
over.
you gotta stop.
Move over.
Stop! You stop doing that!
Stop doing what? Moving my body?
Stop hitting the. You see where your foot is right there?
Yes.
Please stop. I'm asking you nicely.
I am not doing it on purpose.
And I'm keeping all of this in.
Good. Keep
This is
it.
all in the
Keep it.
thing.
I
Now,
want to see it.
I bet you will. I bet you will, and I bet you do. Now, Ted Danson was in blackface.
Yes.
I have a long-running stance when it comes to blackface. That nobody who has ever done blackface has an actual, true, loving friend.
Yeah.
This doesn't say that Whoopi Goldberg helped him put the blackface on or that she even knew that blackface was going to happen.
But she helped him write the
She
joke.
helped him write the jokes. I want to live in a world where I believe that Whoopi Goldberg just helped him write, because this was at the Friars Club. They were roasting Whoopi Goldberg or whatever. You know, she was a comedian, and I like to believe that what happened was he said, "Hey, I need some help writing some jokes on your behalf, like for you." She did that, and then he, in his own separate world, decided, "Hey, you know what'd be really fun? Let me do blackface." And nobody has good friends putting blackface makeup on because you have to get through so many points.
From the moment you put the sponge on your
From
face.
the moment you put it on your face, you have to exit your house, get in a car, drive around that way,
Yep.
go to a place,
Yep.
have people see you on the street between your car and that place,
Yep.
have people see you at that venue, at that place.
Yes.
And nobody said, "Oh my God, this is terrible." Even if you want to believe that he put the blackface on in the back, you have to go from the green room down the hallway to the stage. And there are people in those hallways, in the green room, near the stage, before the stage. Nobody at any point said, "Oh my God, this is terrible."
I mean, they probably thought it and said, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything to him because if I say something to him, he's going to be an asshole, and I don't feel like dealing with that.
The only thing that this tells me, the fact that he was able to do blackface in front of Whoopi Goldberg, a black woman, the only thing that tells me about Ted Danson is that he has to have amazing dick.
Ted Danson
It has to be.
Ted Danson
Now he has daddy dick, but back then he must have been putting it down.
Ted
Good.
Danson has to be like the girth master.
Yes,
That is who he has to be. Because it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Odie, you just learned about the girth master.
And that's why I'm saying that's who he has to be In order for this to be allowed, he has
You know
to
what's
be her
funny?
best eater.
You know what's funny?
And the girth master.
Do you remember his show Becker?
Yes, I do.
He probably could have been called Pecker. Probably had a large pecker. Or thick pecker. Or what have you. I don't know. See, sometimes jokes don't land. And you just roll with it. And I do. Not a fun because sometimes these aren't
There's
fun.
A lot of
if they're
actually
coming
not
from you.
fun ones in here. Well, there was one about the Spice Girls. And said the Spice Girls rose to popularity in the 90s. The girl group spearheaded what we now know to be the norm of mass product endorsement and celebrity influencer marketing. Spice Girls branding on over 100 products from video games to pizza. And I will say, I had the Spice Girl lollipops. I had the dolls. I didn't have the video game, but I did play
How
the
many
video
dolls
game.
did you have?
I think I just had like one.
Scary.
I definitely.
Your mom seems like the kind of person who would only let you buy black dolls.
My mom was very 100%. You can only have black dolls. There were some people who gave me white dolls for presents, and they would mysteriously go. They would go missing.
Yeah. Mysteriously.
Mysteriously, they would go missing.
As if those dolls were like a man.
They were falling through.
Sorry.
Alice in Wonderland.
Your mom treated those dolls, those white dolls, the same way that America in the South treated black people.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
They would just go missing. In the 90s.
But I
this
mean,
is scary. Ooh.
I feel like as a young girl, Spice Girls was literally like my Beyonce. It was the
first fandom that you probably glommed onto.
Because
right?
of course there were, Backstreet Boys
and this
and
makes
NSYNC,
so much sense about your character.
But Spice Girls was just like everything. And you want to know something that's actually kind of racist? When I was working in advertising, one of the old white gays that I was working with, it was right before Halloween. We were talking about what our outfits were going to be. And he was like, what are you going to be, Scary Spice? And it was so, random because I didn't have like a big afro or anything like that. But he was just like asking me if I was going to be Scary Spice. And I was like, no.
How old was this old gay?
Like 60s, 50s, 60s.
Why would he? I can't tell if that's racist or just plain stupid.
No, it was racist because I remember.
Because, I understand you're black. Scary Spice is a black woman. Are you going to be a black woman? Well, the reason why I realized Halloween?
It was racist because I remembered that I had actually been in one of those DEI trainings with him once before, and he was making a big stink about why it shouldn't be a big deal to touch somebody else's hair.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely
yeah.
He's an old white gay, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man. Sometimes it'd be the old white gays.
Yeah. Unfortunately, white gays haven't changed that much. Honestly, sometimes I think they've gotten worse at this point. But if you can't see the racism coming from your face because it doesn't impact you, you're always going to be
Here's an interesting
character.
fact. Condemned for 350 years, Galileo wasn't vindicated until 1992 when the Roman Catholic Church formally recognized that the earth does not revolve around the sun. Imagine that the Catholics in 1991 was like, we still need more facts about how the earth revolves around things, Being
Catholic is really like a conundrum because there's so many things we're just terrible at.
It's a conundrum.
Because there's so many things we're just terrible at.
It's
they were just purposely ignorant, and you're constantly having to combat all of that. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
And equally so, no rhyme or reason for this. Fact number 14.
I knew this was going to be what you were going to say.
In 1994, French biscuit company Saint-Michel collaborated with Safari Africaine to create Bamboula's Village, a human zoo, marketing its popular racist treat, the Bamboula chocolate biscuit, which was the imagery was a cartoon African man or boy in like traditional garb, looking like very much National Geographic. And so they have a video that accompanies this tweet that is showing the African zoo. They took people from...
Do you want me to play the video?
Yeah, you can play the video.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. It would have to be rewound.
In 1994, a French biscuit brand, Saint-Michel, collaborated with Safari African to create Bamboula's Village, based around its popular racist treat, the Bamboula chocolate biscuit. That's right, they created a human zoo. The park manager hired a troupe of 25 performers from the Ivory Coast, paid them 1/4 of the French minimum wage, took their passports, and had them build and live in huts for touring visitors. Women were made to perform bare-chested, and when the performers were hurt or ill, they were examined by veterinarians. The various human rights abuses were publicized by an anti-human zoo group suing the village, as black French people reported an uptick in being called Bamboula, which was a slur from colonial times.
So slavery. So like
slavery.
They cosplayed slavery.
And that, but not even just cosplay. Like they really went into it. Like
look. That is the worst thing to ever come from that fucking book. Lean in. They leaned in. They leaned into racism super hard.
And it's crazy to think about, like, people would think, oh, in the 90s, that's something like that couldn't happen. But we know that there are things like that happen to this day currently. It's just that folks are able to get around using all these various... various loopholes, because Saint-Michel, yeah. I know that I've seen that French company is still making fucking biscuits. Yeah. Because I have seen them in my travels, and I've probably eaten them. Yeah. I have probably eaten
a Saint-Michel biscuit.
Because I'm pretty sure they have a chocolate. If I'm thinking of the correct company, that they have a biscuit where it's a biscuit, like a shortbread biscuit with a chocolate on top, which you know that I love.
Yes.
And I know they have that. I've eaten it. So I've eaten
I know this about you.
ass biscuits.
Yes.
And that pisses me off.
In 1992, Terry McMillan made the second largest paperback book deal of all time at the time, making $2.6 million for Waiting to Exhale, selling 3 million copies in 1995. Forrest Whitaker directed the 1995. Now, I don't think I knew that Forrest Whitaker directed
I
the
did
movie.
not know. I actually just watched Waiting to Exhale.
Did you?
Not for the first. You were sleeping here on the couch.
Of course.
You were next to me asleep.
Yeah.
But I was watching.
I slept through the whole movie?
The whole movie.
Oh, because I remember walking in on you watching some awful movie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Boys on the Side?
Yes.
That's not an awful movie.
So terrible.
It's not.
It's like, oh, quirky. We have this guy tied up and he's going to beat the shit out of us. Like, and he does. But, oh well, he seems like a nice guy. He's just a misunderstanding. And then cut to a new scene. I'm like, what the fuck is this goddamn movie?
Boys on the Side is a good movie. Either way, Waiting to Exhale, I was just recently watching it. And one of the things, I think I was actually talking about it.
Don't put it on. Where is it?
It's on, was it HBO Max? Because I was literally just watching it. And the things that I love about Waiting to Exhale is that they are all these very accomplished, smart women who are
dating or trying to date,
getting divorced, working through single life as a 30-something, 40-something black woman. Which to me, I feel like was...
Yeah, you're right. It's on Hulu and it's on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Peacock.
I might have watched it. It might have been Hulu that I was watching it on.
Yeah.
But like when I was
of course it's on Tubi.
When I was rewatching it, because I saw Waiting to Exhale in the theaters with my mom and my auntie Debbie, and I remember sitting on my mom's lap because it was like a late. We were in the movie. I was like 5 or 6 when this came out, and I'm tired, so I was sleeping on her. And I remember watching it and them just being so in love with it and thinking about like watching it now as a woman in that age range, how so much of it is like very applicable to our current life, but also so happy that the movie was not grounded in the usual like black trauma. Like it had the general like trauma that women deal with in relationships. Mm-hmm. You have the Allstate guy, what's his name? Dennis Haysbert, who is Whitney Houston, R.I.P., her love interest, who he's married and trying to convince her that she should be his side chick forever.
You also have Loretta Devine, also
AKA
known as
Loretta is fine.
Loretta is fine. And I will say that as she continues to age like wine.
She is fine.
Beautiful.
And she was on Grey's Anatomy.
Beautiful. And I'm sure she is on Grey's Anatomy. Loretta Devine, if somehow this podcast gets to you, I would like to take you on a nice brunch. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go against my own grain. It won't be bottomless mimosas for an hour. It'll be a proper brunch. Mm-hmm. It'll be a proper brunch where there's no prefix menu. So that it's not like, I don't want you to think that I'm just working on a budget. Like, it's an actual meal that we can select what we want. Mm-hmm. And if we want to have mimosas, we can.
How many mimosas can she have?
How many can she have?
Yeah.
She can have as many mimosas as she wants if it means hearing about her experience in Hollywood and everything that
That's
she
what
has
you want
to
hear
say.
about?
Well, yeah, it's midday. Like, no, like all jokes aside, who's trying to fuck after brunch?
After you take a nap, you brunch, nap, fuck.
I'm in my 30s. That sounds awful.
No, because you brunch.
That sounds
you take
so
a nap,
awful.
You take a nap after,
like
and then you
nightmare.
wake up and
that
you're
sounds
refreshed.
like hell.
You wake up and you're refreshed.
I'm napping and then I fuck?
Yes, why not? You're gonna be refreshed after that.
No, I'm not rolling with that. Let's do 2 more facts and then go into what made us happy. How about that? Does that sound doable?
Sure. Are there any particular facts that you would like to pull up that you want to talk about?
Hold on. I want to do this real quick. That's a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Anyhow, yet another series that takes place in the 90s.
It does.
So it's relatable. Anyhow, I wrote them down. Funny enough, you can look at my notepad. I wrote down all the ones that I wanted to talk about, but all the ones that I was like, this is too dark. Let's go to 23. I'll leave 23 as like my last one.
Okay. What is?
Former Panamanian dictator Manuela Noriega surrendered to U.S. military forces in 1990 after they blasted rock artists Guns N' Roses, Lee Greenwood, and Twisted Sister to urge him out of hiding.
I want to know why that got him out. Was it just like this terrible rock music?
I want you to, okay. The reason why I say this is because I think that any music, regardless of if it's good or bad, if you hear it enough times, it will make you sick. It will make you violently ill, which is why I am officially petitioning you to limit the amount of Beyonce that you play during the week, because you are going to make me give myself up to the proper authorities if you continue to blast Country Carter at all times, at all hours of the night, every day.
Cowboy Carter.
What did I say?
Country Carter.
I was close. Is it not the same thing? Oh, that's Lynn Whitfield, right?
Yes.
Oh, she's so beautiful too.
Where you mean her? That's Angela Bassett.
Oh no, that is Angela Bassett. I get Lynn Whitfield and Angela Bassett mixed up sometimes.
And her husband, Angela Bassett's husband in this movie, is Michael Beach, the one who left her for the white woman that he was doing his books.
Oh, okay. Angela Bassett's so
She's gorgeous.
gorgeous. Even now, I remember her, and they didn't have to kill her off in
They didn't, but
Black
they did.
Panther. You know, I don't go back and watch that movie. It's too hard to watch.
Yeah.
And also
Without Chadwick, without Angela.
without Chadwick and without Angela, also it's hot take. It's okay. Like it's not as good as the first Black Panther. And mind you, the only flaw that the original Black Panther had was those fucking rhinos. Those goddamn rhinos. Like, we can all admit now, it has nothing to do with Chadwick. It has everything to do with those motherfucking rhinos.
Well,
But,
we might.
they tried to cram too much bullshit into the second movie. And
We might get to see,
we're never getting
in a-
another Black Panther movie ever again.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
Why?
We're
Why do
not
you
getting
say that?
another Black Panther movie.
How come?
Because Marvel, first off, Marvel is in a state right now where they can't be trusted with any property.
Yeah, well.
Like, when was the last good Marvel movie that you saw? The last good one might have been Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But how many Marvel movies have you seen?
Okay, I really did love Rocket's movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
What have we watched since then?
We watched Quantumania.
Did not love that one.
We didn't watch the Marvels, did we?
No, I saw that actually at the dentist because it was on.
Well, there you go. That should tell you everything. Robin. Is that Robin Givens?
That's Layla Rashawn.
Oh, okay.
That's not Robin Givens, but Layla Rashawn.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one that I want to end with is number 34. During the 1995 Source Hip Hop Awards, Andre 3000 was booed when Outkast beat out Bone Thugs and Harmony for Best New Artist. You want to play the clip?
Yeah, I'll play the clip.
But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, like...
I love that he was wearing his, like, dashiki and everything.
Even back
like,
then, he was a very eclectic motherfucker.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I love Andre 3000.
Yes,
Andre 3000. And you know what? Andre 3000 has been... Is that Donald Faison?
It is Donald Faison.
That is Donald Faison. Sorry.
Waiting to Exhale.
We have Waiting to Exhale playing in the background. Sorry. I got to focus on this. He's a daddy now.
He's a zaddy.
No, he is. He is a zaddy. Cause like that beard, it's that beard, man. It's that beard.
I've always loved Donald Faison.
I'm talking about Andre 3000.
Oh, Andre 3000. Yes, I've always loved him as well.
Yeah, no.
Andre 3000 is also
now.
a zaddy as well, with his little flute.
I would never refer to anybody
As a
with a
zaddy?
Z.
Why not?
Anything. No. I don't say zany. I don't say Celtics. I don't say
A xylophone.
yeah.
No, that's
Unless I'm starting my own gang where we replace C's with Z's. I always thought there should be a offshoot of Crips that should be called the Zips. And they replace all their C's with Z's. All their B's with Z's.
Why would it be called the Zips?
Zudclots. Vampires drink Zud.
All right.
Why
okay.
not? Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want to go into what made us happy?
Yes,
or
but,
was there anything else
please-
on this last fact?
There's lots of things that you can look at on these 50 facts. Look at Intellectual Media, INTELEXUAL Media, and you'll see the whole list. It came out on April 18th. But it was a good list, so you should look for it, retweet it, share and share your thoughts.
All right. And with that, we're going to go into the things that made us happy.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
What's making you happy this week?
I'm now wondering if I should adjust the placement of the laptop over here and then the mixer over there. That way I'm facing the camera. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. What's making me happy this week is A, doing this podcast with you. B, you not drinking my drink. C, bonding with my coworkers. I will never say what I do for a living, and I'll never say where I work for a living. But what I will say is that there are a lot of amazing people that I work with, and every day I get to know a little bit more about them. Like I'm not the most social person when it comes to work, but I'm trying. I'm trying to break out of that mode of just like, you know, keeping to myself. I'm trying to be sociable and share my life and learn about other people's lives, you know?
I love that. That's good.
And the last thing is that this isn't a thing that I'm happy about, but it's a thing that I acknowledge. I'm happy that there's a dog here because you're about to go on not about to. You're going on a trip.
Yes.
And you're going to be gone for a while.
And my favorite rocket ship.
Yes. And I'm going to miss you. But, you know, I guess I'll have a dog here to...
And a cat.
Well, no. I'm going to have a dog here to help with...
You don't think Arya's going to help with your...
No.
Why not?
I mean, why not?
You're going to spend time with her?
What? No, I'm not. Why would I? Why would I spend time with that cat?
She loves you.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to feed this cat. God damn it.
I mean, she has to go for food in her little thing. But...
Shit. Fuck me. Anyhow, I'm happy. What are you happy about?
I'm happy about doing this podcast with you, as always. I'm happy to get to spend time with you and, you know, just go on about our days. I'm happy to get to spend time with my friends. Shout out to you, Brianna, Breeze Books on Instagram and various podcast places. Look them up. And I'm happy about being able to see my nephew. I'm very excited about that. And, you know, my babies. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Okay.
And my family and all that.
Yeah, the various babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Your family is, if I could say anything about your family is one that loves children
Yes.
and babies.
There's lots of them.
Is that Don? No, that's not Don Faison.
No,
Who
that's,
is that?
What's his name?
That's fuck.
From damn it, what's his name? He was in House Party.
Yes, that was the dude from House Party, and now he's acting like
he's being a gay man.
No, that's not what I was about to say, but it was what I was going to allude to. Anyhow, if that's everything, then that's everything. So, is there anything else that you want to tell the listeners?
Please follow us, subscribe, and share, and comment, and all that.
Watch our videos.
Watch our videos.
We encourage everybody. I know that we have a thing at the very end, which is an outro that explains to like and share and subscribe. Please give us feedback. Please comment. Please engage with us. We really love it when people engage with us.
Yeah.
So with that being said, everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of the podcast. Until next time, take it easy. Keep it sleazy.
Keep it sleazy.
Keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's Licorish is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.